Well, the Montreal fans certainly brought the energy, especially for hometown hero Sami Zayn, and Ricochet got one more shot, but he needed to send out 10 more shots to match what Dino Bravo received on March 10th, 1993. Anyway, I'm John Renton with my review, WWE Smackdown, episode 1200 from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Somebody say something about a screw job? No, there's no screw job. Please, let us never have another screw job again. My God, that has been covered to fucking death. Bret Hart has given all the recent screw jobs a 4 out of 10. But anyway, this show had some good stuff. It did have one particular segment that almost made me turn off the fucking show, but things are trending in a positive direction, and hopefully at Clash at the Castle, they go with Drew McIntyre as the champion. Because even though Roman Reigns has been a very good champion, he's felt like a champion, he's been booked like a champion, there's been some good stuff. Him being part-time, which I totally understand, he deserves to have more time with his family, he's winding shit down, I get it. But unifying the championships was really fucking dumb in hindsight. But anyway, sadly Michael Cole's still here on commentary. And look, I get it. I get that they feel they don't have anybody else. Michael Cole may be considered the voice of a generation, but he's a bad voice. He's not very good. Even with Vince McMahon's, brain worms out of his goddamn head, he's still not very good. So Jim Cornette's name got dropped because him and Michael Cole did the initial Smackdown pilot in April of 1999. And then Ronda shows up. And boy, they had mic feedback. Maybe the mic was trying to tell her, don't try to cut a promo, you dumb Sandy Hook denying twat, you stupid bitch. But nevertheless, Ronda being booked like a badass. We got a badass over here. Boy, that's an old meme. And, well, Pierce, lift my suspension. I paid my fine, lift my suspension. Pierce shows up with security. I can't lift it just because you want me to. And then sends the security guards there. And she called that one bald security guard a crisis actor. And then proceeded to try to break his arm. And then cops show up. And I swear that one of the cops just looked like a clone of Tessa Blanchard, except this woman actually looked like she might actually want to put people over and actually do the right thing and actually know her role and not think that she's better than she actually is. I don't know. Apparently the guy is actually an independent talent. I don't know who the woman is, but a lot of people are saying, Tessa Blanchard? No. This woman actually looks like she might actually give a damn about human beings. Anyway, so she... Ronda gets arrested. Charlotte is not there to kick her goddamn head in. And let's hear it for the Yukon as Roman Reigns arrives. And then the Women's Tag Team Championship quarterfinal match had to be changed around. It was supposed to be Sonya Deville and Natalya versus Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. But the story that has been put out is that both weren't medically cleared. Well, Nikita wasn't medically cleared. Now, there are rumors floating around, and allegedly, covering my ass here, Nikita is not vaccinated. And if that is true, so let me get this straight. She will get injections to make her ass more amplified, but she won't take a goddamn life-saving vaccine. But then again, if you look a little bit deeper into a bunch of stuff that she feels, and a certain workout video that she shared with a certain goddamn, anti-LGBTQ and very annoying twat of a rapper, if you saw that, then you probably shouldn't be too goddamn shocked. Yes, I was blinded by the fact that she had the curvature and everything. So if that is true, if it's true, she's a fucking goddamn idiot. And I'm also not surprised as somebody that likes to really not know what the fuck her gimmick or, her goddamn character or even how she's supposed to act in general. I don't think she tries to act like 3 different goddamn people, 3 different goddamn races, 3 different goddamn cultures. It's fucking incredible. It's the 3 faces of lions. Also, Zoe Stark, I don't know what the deal with Zoe Stark is. Maybe she has a concussion, maybe she doesn't. I don't have a goddamn clue. I think was disappointed not being able to go to Canada because one of her first forays into Canada, she was able to see Stu Hart's debut match. Because, again, when she was in school, they didn't have history. Her social security number is 1. Back when she first traveled up to Canada, she was actually able to see Stu and Helen at their wedding. Don't ask me how she showed up there, but anyway, nevertheless, they were replaced by JC, Jane, my goodness, and Gigi Dolan. So Toxic Attraction has been called up. Now, this is a tournament match, and I will say right now that this match certainly, it had Natalya doing some good stuff. Sonya, I think, is totally checked out. Sonya had that very scary situation with that stalker, and I totally understand If Sonya's mind maybe isn't right as far as her being in the ring, I don't know, but she has seemingly regressed in the last number of months. Gigi, also known as Priscilla Kelly, isn't bad in the ring, but honestly, she has a bit of a ceiling. Her and JC are a really good tag team. JC Jane's stealing the goddamn show every fucking time she's out there. Bayley and the rest of Control, or whatever they're going to be called, Io Sky and Dakota Kai show up, and Bayley just berates Michael Cole. Berate him to the point that he leaves commentary because he's really fucking bad at his job. The crowd, unfortunately, mostly cheered for Bayley. I mean, they cheered for Natalya because hard, Canada. But that was it. Commentary did mention how Natalya apparently had to break into her car to get her passport so she could make it up to the show. I don't know if that's actually a made-up story or what. Nevertheless, I'm glad Natalya was able to be there. And I do love me some JC Jane. She is really fucking shining. And she's going to mean a lot on the main roster. I don't know if they're going to be called up officially just yet, or if they're just going to be here for a little bit to fill out this tournament. Bayley said to Sonya, "You should just have remained a GM." And JC and Gigi won, because of course they fucking would. And there you go. So they advance. Again, if all the stuff is to be believed about Nikita and Zoe as to why they weren't up there because they didn't want to give a life-saving vaccine, allegedly, again, you're fucking goddamn idiots for not getting that. If you don't want to get stuck with a needle, fucking stay in your goddamn house. Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you? So, Roman wants to see Sami. Huge crowd reaction because Sami Zayn, of course, Montreal. I don't like this storyline. I know people are like, oh, it's going to make Sami a big baby face. Here's the thing. I've already written off Sami because of the Johnny Knoxville thing. And look, Sami's broken down. Very broken down. We find that out a little bit later in the Fatal 5-Way because he suffered so many injuries before he got to WWE. Then he had the shoulder issues. And he still can work well. And he still does good character work. But I don't care about this. I'm sorry. I just don't fucking care about the storyline. So... Jay is calling Roman's phone. They are having trouble at the border. Gee, I wonder why the Usos would have trouble getting into another country. Could have anything to do with the multiple DUIs they've never gotten in trouble for? Probably. Roman says to Sami, by the way, tell Kevin Owens, even though you don't talk to him much, that I don't owe anyone anything. Raw in Toronto. Edge and Trish are back. Good. So, recast of the IC title main event, which was very, very good. Maximum male models are out there, and then Hit Row. They show up. And then they do, I don't know what the fuck they were goddamn doing. Look, Triple H, I'm sure, felt guilty because Hit Row got released. Now Swerve is killing it, and he had to bring back the scraps. Look, Adonis is a fine athlete. I don't get this whole point with Top Dollar, AJ Francis, whatever, and BFAP, I don't fucking get it. I don't. It's an annoying gimmick. They aren't faces to me, personally, and I get that there can be some appeal as far as maybe trying to get a younger demographic, but they proceeded to do a concert, cypher, whatever the fuck it's called, that was one of the worst things that's happened in SmackDown history. And if they're going to have Maximum Male Models and Hit Row feud, that's already going to be the worst feud in WWE this year. I understand trying to do new things and trying to introduce talent, trying to make things work and not just drop gimmicks, but getting the most out of them and everything, but these are two dead-end gimmicks, especially the models gimmick, but you're telling me this is the fucking best you can do? This cypher, concert, whatever, abysmal. Fucking goddamn abysmal. An embarrassment. An embarrassment in general. I nearly turned off the goddamn show. I nearly said, fuck it. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this anymore. It was that fucking bad. And a lot of people were saying, what the fuck was this? Like, okay, we were happy to see Hit Row back, and this is what you fucking do? If you fucking dare to try and watch this, just go and watch that segment, and then tell me if there's something I missed and something that, like, 95% of the people watching this missed. This was an abomination. This was fucking terrible. So, Scarlet talks about, something about a tongue cutting or whatever. She was mentioning something about her tongue cutting people. Here's Cross, and he said something about, said something about a table and everything. It was he said some lines that just were like all kind of psychobabble, in all honesty. I wonder why they're not allowed in Canada. Oh yeah, probably because if you've seen Karrion Kross, he was taking pictures with Drake QAnon younger. So there you go, Drake Wirtz, as it were. So there you go. He's taking pictures with somebody like that, and I don't care if it was a couple years ago. Leopard doesn't generally change its spots. So him and Scarlet aren't going to be allowed there. I wonder if they're going to even be allowed in the fucking UK. Here's an idea. Regardless of how people feel about certain things, we're not going to all be the Stepford Wives. If people aren't willing to do something to protect their fellow individual by getting a life-saving vaccine, so that's the only way vaccines truly fucking work, is if everybody gets them, so we get that natural immunity, thanks to life-saving medicine, then maybe Kross and Scarlet shouldn't have been hired, because this already feels like a fucking letdown. So anyway, 5-way entrance, and we got, Sami gets a huge pop. Ricochet, the shots rang out or whatever, Dino Bravo's family shuddering. And then, after Sami gets a huge pop, it's Sami versus Sheamus versus Moss versus Corbin versus Ricochet. Fatal 5-way for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to say right now, this match was really good and really worth checking out. It did go a little bit long. Had it been done elimination style, I think it would have been better. There was some really good action, but it did start to feel like, okay, we're going to have them go long because we don't have anything else for the show. Sheamus then at one point decided to beat off 3 men from behind, and when a thick Irishman decides to beat you off from behind, you are going to listen. Don't ask me anymore. And the crowd wanted Sami to win. At one point, he did a dive. It seemed like he hurt his shoulder. He got taken to the back. He did come out for the finish. There was a shooting star press by Ricochet. And Sami comes out to a pop, nearly gets a 3 count, but unfortunately gets pulled out by Corbin, shoved into the post, and then bro kick on Corbin. 1, 2, 3, and there you go. So the fans are pissed. Sheamus got a victory. Good stuff. But I don't really think that it was necessarily... I think it just went a few minutes too long, even though the action was quite good. I think they could have just put another match out there, because unfortunately some of the other pre-tape stuff they did, they show off Drew's package, and then we get footage of the Viking funeral. I'm sorry, this was bad, and creative should feel bad. And they mentioned something about Valhalla, which probably means that Sarah Logan's returning. Speaking of somebody that's a QAnon fuck, she's probably going to return. Fox will love her. So anyway, progressive match flow on Shayna and Liv. Match flow for the women. As subtle as a brick to the skull. Liv says that she will basically prove the doubters wrong. Shotzi mentions that she's wanting to hurt Liv, and Kayla was very intrigued. And Shotzi and Liv had a match that wasn't bad, but it wasn't necessarily memorable. Liv, I think, is getting a little bit more confident and hit Oblivion 1, 2, 3. And then Shayna targets Liv's arm. I could break your arm now, but I'm going to beat you at Clash at the Castle. And then Clash at the Castle theme by Our Lady Peace. Grab your phone cord, grab your goddamn pillowcase, and make sure to plant some evidence under the bed, and then get on your Bowflex and make sure to just do some neck cranks, because Our Lady Peace is back. If you get it, you get it. I'm going to say right now, I may not be watching Clash at the Castle live, but if you don't think I'm going to have jokes about Our Lady Peace and some other stuff, you don't know me very well. So, Roman makes his entrance. He tells Montreal to acknowledge his meat. Loud Roman chants. Says, Drew, you don't run this place. I do. Here's Drew. He says, you don't deserve to be champion. Basically because, they deserve to have champions here every goddamn week. They brawl. We get a Claymore to Sami because he gets in the way to stop Roman from getting hit. Roman hits Superman punch. Sami's down, though, and then Claymore to Roman. And that's it. That's it right there. That's pretty much it for Smackdown. So, yeah, not a bad show. But, of course, Nikita and Zoe had to change plans, so we had to get an actual tag team in there, which actually turned out to work out better. But if the rumors, the alleged rumors, are to be believed, it's for stupid reasons because they're selfish bitches. So, anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.